So our coverage here continues at the PDAC convention. We are on day 2, and I'm very pleased to welcome Bruce Bragagnolo, CEO of Regency Silver. Bruce, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Adrian. Good to be here.
It's great to have you, and of course, silver has had quite a year, and so it must be exciting times for you these days.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's good to be here at the PDAC in Toronto. You can see the interest has really picked up year over year. I knew something had changed fundamentally in the silver industry and the gold industry, and 2 years ago at PDAC, when the price didn't get knocked down during PDAC.
Right. The PDAC curse, I
the
believe they call
curse
it.
of PDAC. It used to strike every year. I've been coming here since 1995 or so, and you always try to get everything done before PDAC. But 2 years ago, there was a fundamental shift when the price of the metals didn't get knocked down, and it's been continuing ever since. We've had a very good run the last couple of years.
It's so funny you mentioned that. I think I had a similar thought a couple of years ago. It's like, oh, it didn't go down during PDAC or right after PDAC. That's pretty funny you mentioned that. So you're at Regency Silver. Where are your projects based? What are you working on right now?
Well, our flagship project is in Sonora, Mexico. And that's where my last big project was, at the Timmins gold mine just north of Hermosillo. So now we're 4 hours to the east of Hermosillo, going up into the mountains a little bit in a very underexplored area that has a lot of potential. We're almost on the Chihuahua border. It's just a great place to work. It's underexplored, and there's potential here for some big discoveries in this district overall. There's lots of mines in the district.
Interesting, and of course, Mexico has been in the news recently, of course, security concerns. How do you approach that, and how do you feel about that?
Well, the violence has occurred south of us. It's been confined to Sinaloa and Jalisco, and there's a cartel war going on there, which hasn't reached into Sonora, so we're quite safe where we are. We feel very good about our security.
Okay, excellent. And as far as the project itself, how long have you been working on it? What stage are you at? Are you drilling it? Tell us more about just what you're working on at the project.
Yeah, we first acquired the project in 2017 and went through some very lean years in the market. When silver is $14 an ounce and your cost of production is $16, it's not a good market. But now, we're not a producer, by the way, we're an explorer. So we started off with an old silver mine, and it just looked different. There was something about it, though. I guess it was the grade and the width of the silver mine. Some of the biggest head grades in Mexico are 750 grams per ton silver, and the historic Dios Padre silver mine had 750 grams of silver as an average that had been mined in the past. So we looked at it, and it looked very interesting, and there was an IP anomaly beside it, which looked like a copper anomaly. So we took the copper, we took the silver, we ran it through modern software and came up with a drill program which called for one deep hole at a 45-degree angle right underneath the old silver mine. And on our very first hole, we hit 36 meters of 6.8 grams of gold plus copper plus silver. So we hit a very rich zone, and now we're going up dip and along strike along that breccia zone of high-grade gold.
Interesting, and so it was more than beginner's luck, so to speak. It continues.
Well, it takes a combination of experience, I'd like to say some skill, but a lot of luck as well. So you got to have a combination of those.
Yeah, like in terms of the first holes. So the other holes are producing, and you're feeling good about what you're seeing.
Oh, we're feeling very good. We're clearly into a big high sulfidation system. These types of systems are very rare, but they're very rich and they're big. So we just need to continue drilling. Our last drill results were very good. We hit 9 meters of 5.4 grams of gold, and we hit, going up dip now towards the old silver mine, in basically a blind area, we hit 3 distinct zones of silver, the highest being 9 meters of 155 grams of silver. And one thing I do want to stress, and the general public hasn't really caught on to this yet, the margins in gold and silver are going to be extraordinary. When you see the financial statements of some of the producers, when your cost is $2,000 an ounce for producing gold, and let's say $20 an ounce for producing silver, when you're making $3,000 an ounce for gold and you're making $80 an ounce for silver, the margins are spectacular now. They're way better than they've ever been. So once that starts to trickle through and people start to understand that, they'll understand that the grade is not as big a factor as it used to be because the margins are so good. I had a great discussion with some old mining buddies in Mexico City a few weeks back. We were talking about what type of grade do you need now to be economic. And silver, it used to be needed like 250 grams of silver to be economic. Now it's 45. So it's a huge difference. There's lots of 45 gram silver out there. So you're going to see a lot of mines being put into production that you might not have seen a few years back.
Indeed. In a sense, the industry is changing with these new numbers, right? So it's quite something. So does that mean you work as fast as possible as well? Because who knows what the future holds? I imagine you're working, in a sense, fast right now, and there's a lot of urgency. Am I right, or?
It's hard to say. We've only got 15 drill holes into this major zone. So we're going about as fast as we can right now with one drill rig. And then we have to see where we bring in another rig later. So right now we're doing exploratory drilling, so it's not quite as urgent for us, but our plan is to drill it and sell it anyway, so we don't plan to be a producer. Although we could. I went to production with Timmins Gold and worked out very well.
Okay, excellent. And I was going to wrap up with that question of where is this going? And in a sense, so what does the plan look like? What does the roadmap look like as we, look off into the next, say, 6 months to 2 years?
Well, it used to be in Mexico, if you had 500,000 ounces of gold, you went to production and you followed up from there. With the markets being what they've been and the equity values being what they've been, that's probably not in the cards right now, but 1 million ounces perhaps. 1 million ounces of gold these days gives you $3 billion worth of margin. That's pre-tax, but it's pretty darn good. You never saw those type of numbers before. So we'll see how the economics of the mining industry shake out. But I suspect we're going to see a lot more mines go into production over the next little while, just because of the better economics.
Excellent. And finally, do you have a message for investors? Why should investors be interested in Regency Silver? What is your message to them?
Well, they should be interested because we're adding ounces very quickly. We've had 3 drill holes, somewhere around 38 meters of over 6 grams. Those are exceptional results, which show we're in a big porphyry system here. With the high-grade silver on the surface, with a resource of 11.375 million ounces of silver, with drilling ongoing, you're going to see some good results coming out of Regency in the future. We just have to keep following along and finding more of the same mineralized zones, and things should all click into place for us.
Excellent. Bruce Bragagnolo, CEO of Regency Silver, thank you for joining us and telling us everything about what you're working on.
Thank you, Adrian.